In this video, I'm going to run through what causes dandruff, how can you get rid of dandruff, maybe you don't even have dandruff, maybe it's dry flaky skin. How can you tell the difference? I'm going to talk about that as well. And finally, some product recommendations to get rid of that dandruff. Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. Let's get started. Dandruff is flakiness. It's a scaly flakes on the scalp. Now a yeast called 𝗲𝗟𝗂 is responsible for dandruff. So what happens is, in our skin's microbiome, there are trillions of bacteria, fungus and viruses. Skin's microbiome is all made up of good bugs. All these bugs on the skin's microbiome, they help skin carry out its function. One of these in the skin's microbiome, one of the organisms in the skin's microbiome is this yeast called 𝗲𝗟𝗂. Now what happens is, when there is a lot of oil in our scalp, maybe there's a lot of oil being secreted by the sebaceous glands on your scalp, or maybe there's a lot of unwashed oil sitting like that on the scalp. So this yeast 𝗲𝗟𝗂, it loves this oil. This oil is also called sebum. It starts eating this oil. It thrives in this environment and it multiplies. More of 𝗲𝗟𝗂 gets produced and all of them together have a party. They keep eating the sebum and they're thriving in this environment. And when they eat the sebum, they release something called oleic acid. Now oleic acid, some people are a bit sensitive to oleic acid, and oleic acid gets slightly deeper and then it causes some inflammation in the skin, and when it gets slightly deeper into the scalp skin and causes inflammation there, skin in response to this inflammation starts to shed. But it just doesn't shed as individual cells. All these cells, they clump together and form flakes, and the skin sheds as flakes, and that's what is dandruff. So to get rid of the dandruff, you need to get rid of the excess yeast 𝗲𝗟𝗂, you need to address that inflammation, and you also need to get rid of that excess sebum, excess oil that's there in the scalp. Now let me get into the special shampoos that can help get rid of this dandruff. If you've got mild to moderate dandruff, use a shampoo which has got 𝗏𝗡𝐴, which is also called zinc pyrithione. Now what zinc-PCA does is, it's anti-inflammatory, so it can get rid of some of the inflammation from there. It goes and interferes with the respiratory function of the yeast 𝗲𝗟𝗂, and that's how it gets rid of all that excess 𝗲𝗟𝗂. And it is persistent, meaning it just stays on the scalp for a little bit longer, and that makes it release what it needs to release slowly, and then gradually gets rid of all that yeast 𝗲𝗟𝗂. So it's actually quite effective if you've got mild or moderate dandruff. Now Head and Shoulders shampoos, it's got two ranges when it comes to attacking dandruff. One is the classic range and the other one is the clinical range. The classic range of anti-dandruff shampoos from Head and Shoulders uses zinc-PCA, and that's actually quite effective. Now a fun fact, Head and Shoulders, why is it called Head and Shoulders? Head because that's where the dandruff is, shoulders because this annoying dandruff falls on our clothes on the shoulders, hence the name Head and Shoulders. The Head and Shoulders classic range, which has got the zinc-PCA, good for mild to moderate dandruff. If your dandruff is more on the heavier side, two ingredients can help. One is selenium sulfide and the other one is ketoconazole. Both these ingredients go target the yeast 𝗲𝗟𝗂, and that's how they address the dandruff problem. Now the ingredient ketoconazole also is anti-inflammatory like zinc-PCA, so that can help in reducing the inflammation that is caused by the yeast. Selenium sulfide, two shampoos use that, which I recommend. One is a clinical strength from the Head and Shoulders range, and the other one is a shampoo called Selsun Blue. And the ingredient ketoconazole, there's a shampoo called Nizoral that uses this ingredient, and it's quite good in getting rid of the dandruff. If you've done all this, used all these shampoos, no change, the dandruff is still there, then you need to visit the doctor. You need a prescription medicine for that stubborn dandruff. One problem with the shampoos is the yeast can get resistant to these shampoos. Not so much with the zinc 𝗶𝗍 but definitely with the other ingredients. So what you need to do is you need to use the shampoos interchangeably. So maybe use the Selsun Blue for some days and then use the Nizoral for the other days. Zinc 𝗶𝗍 is still okay, but that's only if you've got mild to moderate dandruff. For the slightly heavier ones for which you need the other two ingredients, the yeast can get resistant, so you need a couple of different shampoos, and so you need to use them interchangeably. You need to persist with the shampoos till the dandruff goes away. Just using it for a couple of days and then forgetting about it is not going to help. Keep using it consistently till the dandruff goes away. These shampoos, however, are not going to get rid of the flakiness. You need something else for the flakiness. You need something like a exfoliating ingredient like a salicylic acid, which can go in there, break the bonds between these skin cells, get into the hair follicles, scoop out all that dirt and excess oil. And for that I recommend Neutrogena's Tea Sal shampoo. This can be used in between the other more anti-dandruff shampoos. So this particular shampoo is mainly for getting rid of all that flakiness. The salicylic acid in here, which is a chemical exfoliant, does a great job in getting rid of all that flakes. It goes and scoops out everything from inside the hair follicle. Now, one thing to remember is all these shampoos can make your skin dry. So you need to give it some love and care, and you need to make sure it gets enough moisture and hydration in there. Some kind of hair products which has got hydrating ingredients is really good to use in between your washes. Now, the way to apply these shampoos is to make it rest, allow it, rub it on the scalp, gently rub it on the scalp and allow it to rest on the scalp for up to 5 to 10 minutes. Follow the instructions on the label. See how long the manufacturer says it needs to rest on the scalp, and then do that, and only after that wash the shampoo away. It needs to rest on that scalp for a bit. But how do you know it's dandruff and not dry skin? You see, if the skin on your face is not dry, then the chances of dry skin occurring on your scalp is very negligible, because scalp has more oil producing glands than your face does, and so there's always going to be a slightly more oil on your scalp than on the face. So if the face is not dry, there's no way the scalp will get dry. So that's the first way. The second way is the flakes that come out of dry skin, they are much thinner, much smaller, whereas the flakes from dandruff, they're much bigger and much thicker. So that's how you would know. And finally, if the days between your hair washes increases and you notice an increase in the flakes because of that, then you know it's dandruff. Because if you leave a longer time in between hair washes, it means more oil, more sebum on the scalp. That is more food for the 𝗔 𝗲𝗄𝗃, and that means more dandruff and hence more flakes. Wash your hair regularly. You do need some special shampoos to get rid of the dandruff, but let's just say for a second that you don't have any special shampoos. Even by using a regular shampoo, you can get rid of the dandruff to at least a small extent just by washing it regularly. Because when you wash it regularly, you're getting rid of that excess oil, excess sebum, and that's super helpful. When you have a dandruff problem, be careful with oil application to the hair, especially olive oil. Don't use olive oil because this 𝗔 𝗲𝗄𝗃, it loves olive oil. So you're adding more party food to your scalp if you're using olive oil. So avoid that. So that's about it. If you liked this video, please give it a like and do subscribe to my channel. It'll really help me a lot. If there is any other skin or hair product that you would like me to review, please leave the name of that product in the comments below and I'll do a video on it. Thank you and bye for now. I'll see you in the next video.